In a side-scroller, you're always as good as your problem-solving skills. This can be true in puzzle games, finding a way to open a certain door for instance, or it can apply on adventure platformers where you need to figure out what combination of buttons should you press, in which order to get past this obstacle, or even Metroidvania boss fights, getting to know the enemy better and what tactics work best. In contrast, gaming developers are always as good as their problem-creating skills. Of course, it might not be that easy to put a finger on this in a boss fight as the root of the problem. That's not the case in puzzle platformers. You see, in these types of games, we directly confront the dev's creativity. If it shows itself in Hollow Knight in the mind-boggling interconnected map of Hollownest, or if in Celeste it's employing the precise momentum to throw Madeline a little further, you won't realize how much thinking has gone on this if no one would mention it. But in a game like Animal Well for instance, every time you progress, you can't help but to admire the creativity of the puzzles. With that in mind, let's take a look into what makes a puzzle platformer great. I'm Old Soul, and for more analysis, subscribe to my channel. There are two types of puzzle platformers actually. In one of them, you have 2 or 3 sets of skills and tools, tops, but the puzzles keep changing, forcing you to find new ways to employ your tools. While the second group has way more accessories at hand. You enter a biome and use the tool designated for that level. After an hour, a new location unlocks with a new tool, and the previous one is immediately rendered useless, completely forgotten. And this keeps happening throughout the game, giving you tons of temporary skills. You can probably guess which type is my favorite, and which one I believe to be bad. Now anyone might wonder, why should it be called bad? Isn't it just a matter of different styles and tastes? So let's back it up with some facts, shall we? Before we shall, I have to say that unfortunately, I'm not going to name what games fit in the category of bad puzzle games, and the gameplay videos I use are from the examples of good platformers, because to be honest, I'm tired.
I'm tired, boss.
Tired of explaining to people that I don't hate their favorite game. Rather, I'm pointing out their flaws. I've been getting dislike bombed too much to keep at this anymore. So if you have a certain game in mind as a bad puzzle platformer, feel free to share with us in the comment section, cause I'm not going to. Anyway, the first reason is related to a writing device called Deus Ex Machina. When a writer can't think of a logical way to get their characters out of a pickle, a sudden hand of God appears to save them. The most famous example of it being the Eagles in Lord of the Rings franchise. When you read a book or watch a movie, wouldn't you prefer that the key to solve the protagonist's problems were always in their pocket without them knowing it? That's how I feel about some of these puzzle games. I like to try my chance to open this door with the key at my disposal, but no, they have to give me a bazooka for it. In Cocoon, lots of times you get stuck so bad in an area that you're like, that's it, I'm soft-locked. I need to go back to the last checkpoint, before accidentally solving the puzzle and admiring the genius of the developers. I play puzzle games for this exact experience, the struggles of desperation before striking gold. The second reason is about learning curve. When the game introduces a new tool in the game, they need to teach me how it works. Not necessarily with a tutorial, but with simple and easy problems. So if a usual game's learning curve looks like this, those puzzle games look more like this. Also, how can I become an expert on riding this if you keep changing my bike? Let me give you an example. In World of Goo 1 Chapter 3, the game introduces a new goo ball, Fuse Goo. Their only ability is that they can catch on fire and spread it. Then, the devs go on to put this feature into test in every single way possible. In some levels you have to keep them safe from the fire, and in some you should burn them. And sometimes you should first keep them safe and then burn it at the right moment. The game practically milks this feature until it's impossible to design a new creative level with it. Otherwise, World of Goo could have 1,000 levels all similar to each other. The third reason is repetitiveness. Most of the times, these devs have nothing new and creative to prolong their game with it, so they introduce a new tool or mechanic. But there's a catch. That skill or tool just looks different than the previous ones, but almost identical in its core, and that actually generates a new problem. One thing that I really love about finding a new skill is how I need to combine it with the others to learn different tricks. Like in Animal Well, you meet this ghost cat at the beginning after picking your first tool, the disc. It follows you for a time, which is very scary, until you find a marked disc to replace it in the shrine, and the ghost will fade away. Later in the game, you will need that marked disc too, so you have to take it back and run away from the cat again. But this time, you have multiple tools at your disposal and have to work with all of them to get away. The same puzzle changes perspective in different times of the game. But if the new tools did the same thing as the others did, how could we combine them? What new and creative features would they bring into the table? These three factors can choke the creativeness of puzzle platformers. When I see one of these, I immediately think, why are these devs trying to waste my time? What's that uniqueness I'm looking for? Because if a book is driven by its story, and if a movie is driven by its shots, a puzzle game is driven by to what extent it can poke your creativity and thinking out of the box skill. With that in mind, if you know any puzzle platformer like this, comment section welcomes you, and if you enjoyed, hit the like button and subscribe. As always,
Be safe, friend. Don't you dare go hollow.